What's going on, everybody? The Original Mako back with another shark scale video, and this one's pretty quick after the last one because I was just on vacation recently and had a chance to finish 2 different animes in that time. So I'm going to space these videos out a bit between this one and the next one I'm going to make because I just started Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and that's probably going to take a little bit longer than these, obviously. But I wanted to make the shark scale video on these 2 anime. Obviously not at the same time. This is going to be one, and then I'll make another one somewhat soon, but I'll make it probably right after I record this, but it'll be released later. Regardless, as you could tell probably by the title, we watched and finished Kill la Kill, which was Studio Trigger. And this one was interesting, to say the least. You know, you're already working from... It's interesting. That's all I'm gonna say. With the whole premise being, you know, you want to be wearing less clothes to be more powerful. It's obviously very fan service oriented. The animation, I don't know how to describe it. Not necessarily style, but like how they do fights and stuff is so over the top. Like someone gets punched and they're getting blasted through like 7 brick walls and slamming, and there's like a fucking explosions, like Michael Bay type shit. The comedy was very, very consistent, like a lot of jokes and not super serious moments. But the story ended up actually being pretty decent, considering it's like a fan service type of anime. The fight scenes were pretty good. I think in these videos, I'm going to start maybe showing a couple clips. It's a dangerous game out there. It really is. But we're going to see what happens. Regardless, it was very fun to watch. Definitely not my favorite of all time because of how over the top it is. But the humor started to grow on me a little bit towards the end. The storyline ended up being better than I thought it was going to be. So... yeah, that's my overall type of summary, but let's go ahead and get into the actual rankings. Oh, hello. Actual rankings here. So C. Oh, for those of you who might be new to this, C equals characters, S is story, W is world, M is music and soundtrack, A is animations, OE is overall enjoyment, because I had to add a little bit of bias for some shows, because if I didn't have my overall enjoyment as part of the rankings, then it wouldn't really be my rankings. So anyway, all of these are out of 100. Take the average, boom, that's how you get your score, and then we rank them. So characters in Kill la Kill, they had very fun names to say. Ryuko Matoi, Satsuki Kiryuin, that's probably the most fun one to say. The characters were pretty good. The side characters didn't get a ton of love, which is fine, but the main character, Ryuko, was good. She didn't have a ton of depth to her. It was a pretty simple, my dad was murdered. I want to figure out who murdered him. Here we go. I want to seek my revenge. Pretty standard stuff. The main character, obviously this is spoilers if you're watching this. Hopefully you've already watched this or don't plan to watch it. The main character in the main protagonist, from the beginning, she was Satsuki Kiryuin. She was much more interesting of a character, in my opinion, and she wasn't the main character, so that's kind of a little off. But we have a couple of pretty decent characters fleshed out. There just wasn't enough time to develop some of the other characters, so I'd say it's pretty average with characters in terms of liking them. I am going to give it a little above average. I'll give it like a 70 to 75 would be considered pretty average. I'll go towards the upper end and give it like a 79, just under 80, because once again, I think Satsuki's character was really, really well done, and it was a fun little twist that I didn't see happening. So 79 for the characters. Story, probably out of all of these categories here, probably, well, actually, okay, regardless, I'm getting ahead of myself. The story ended up being, excuse me, ended up being pretty decent by the end of it. It took a while to get going, but once it got going, it got going. So, considering where it started and the fact that I was expecting it to be just fan service with maybe the slightest hint of a story, like the first little 5 o'clock shadow hair you see in your prepubescent age of a story, it actually ended up being fleshed out a little bit more than I thought. And I think the story was probably, unless you're just, you're really interested in some fan service, then that's what's going to carry the show for you. But I think the story ended up being interesting enough where I was like, oh, I want to see what happens next, which was good, but it wasn't mind-blowing, so I'll give it an 84. It's good. It's above average for storytelling, but it wasn't like a mind-blowing type of thing. The world. So they're in a world where life fibers, clothes, are trying to consume the humans to spread their seed across the universe. And they all have these life fibers in clothes have powers. It's a interesting world building. It's very weird. I wasn't really gripped by the fact that these sentient clothes are taking over. Obviously, it had to fit into the story of, you want to have less clothes. So they had to make clothes a central part, but having them be like the big, like the whole world. The world building is just all about the clothes and how they came to Earth and want to take over and all this stuff. I don't know. I wasn't a huge fan of that world building and concept, so I'll probably go. I don't even think it's an average, really. I'm a little below an average. I'll give it like a 60. I'll give it like a 64, 63. I wasn't a big fan of the world. Music. The OSTs, or the OST of the show was really good. The first intro wasn't bad. The second intro was incredible. And the fight scene music was pretty good as well. I actually, instead of doing this in the correct way, I'm just going to do it in the lazy way. So here we go. Okay, I don't need an hour of it. And I don't need... Okay. Let's see if this works. Let's see if I can find what I'm looking for. No. Nope.
You're slick, boss.
Well, that's really weird timing. I don't know if I've ever had somebody follow while I was recording a video. It's not even... Okay. I can't find it. But it's really good. It's oh wait. I might have found it. Okay. So I'm not going to show this on screen because once again it's very fan service. But just listen to the music. banger fight music. Okay. So the OST was really good. I enjoyed the music. The outros were subpar. Outros for me are really, really hit or miss. There's only been one, maybe two shows that have had outros where I will actually watch the outro. Tower of God is one of them. Tower of God is the premier intro outro combo. The other is Log Horizon. But regardless, the outros were whatever. Those don't usually weigh it down too much for me. I think the music was really good. Big fan of the OST, so I'm going to give it... It's not like life-changing music, but I'll give it a low 90s. I'll give it a 91. I think it was really good. Animation. This is interesting. So once again, the animation is very over the top. It's very, very, like, crazy. Which, at first, I was like, I'm not a big fan of this. But then I was like, okay, well... The fight scenes are actually really, really well animated. The animation style, like how the characters look, just in general, looks pretty, it's good. It wasn't crazy like Jujutsu Kaisen or Demon Slayer type of stuff. But for a show that was clearly lower budget, the fight scenes were animated very, very well. Very over the top, but still very well. It was very cool, very fun to watch. So I was actually a big fan of the animation in this anime. Once again, it's nothing crazy, and, I can't really give it a crazy score, but it was just enjoyable animation. So I'll give it like an 84 for the animation there. Overall enjoyment. This is going to be interesting. I haven't even thought about this one. I liked Kill la Kill. Probably not going to make my rewatch list, but I was glad that I watched it. It's 24 episodes, so it's relatively short. Once again, it took a while to get going. Oh, you know what I just remembered? I'm going to bump this character score up just a little bit to an 82, because I forgot, I was talking about Satsuki and Ryoko, but the other main side character, Ryoko's best friend, Mako Mankanchoke. Mako Mankanchoke, what a sick name, just like Satsuki Kiryuin. But she is a very, 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 very fun character. And it's not like she has all these deep, like she's not written like Itachi. She's got this deep secret inner, stuff that's going to get revealed way down the line. She's just super funny, has a really, really good personality, and a very fun character to watch on screen. So that bumps that up a little bit. Anyway, overall enjoyment. Like I said, I enjoyed it. I'd watch it, or I wouldn't watch it again probably. But most shows I don't rewatch. It takes a lot to make my rewatch list. Like that's like the top 10. But it was enjoyable. It was, once again, if 70 to 75 is average, that's about exactly where I would put this. Somewhere between that range. I'd probably go towards the higher end, so I'll give it a 74. It was just average. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great, but I enjoyed it. So I'll give it a 74 out of 100. And now it is time to give the final rankings after we do a little addition and division here. Hopefully I don't mess this up. 84 and it is 74, and that's out of 600, which gives this a whopping 79.7 out of 100. Pog, woohoo! Slightly above average in that ranking, which, I need to bold this. It's about right on par for the course. But let's go ahead and cut that out. And 79.7. So that will go right below Records of Ragnarok and right above Domestic Girlfriend. Back the two most fan service anime I've watched back to back, baby. I love to see it. I'm sensing a trend here. Okay. Let me make sure everything looks correct down here. It does. Nice. Okay. So that puts Kill la Kill right at 31 out of 41. So yeah, that sounds about right, frankly. But yeah, that's it for this episode of the Shark Scale. Let me know what you think of Kill la Kill if you've watched it, if you enjoy it. The next one's going to be a pretty fun one, so I'm excited for that one. And then obviously we'll have Full Metal Alchemist coming soon. But yeah, this is all for the video. Hopefully you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Love each and every one of your faces, and I will catch you all in the next video.